Hey friends, tonight is Monday night, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022, and I just want to give a quick video update because it's been a while. Um, so last week, Monday, basically all last week, I basically had like a full-on schizophrenic episode that lasted pretty much the whole week. Um, it really started Monday when I was at my job at the food bank. That's what really set it off. I came in at 12 noon and I walked into a total shit show. I mean, I walked in and it was just complete chaos. And it stayed complete chaos for my entire shift. Um, I was already kind of starting to slip away before last week Monday, the Saturday and Sunday before. I was already starting to kind of lose it. And I'm not really sure why. I didn't really go through anything traumatic or anything stressful or anything like that. Um, I was just kind of starting to gradually slip away. Um, and then when I got to work Monday, it totally exasperated everything. And my episode lasted for the entire week until Friday. Um, Friday night, I finally started to get to, actually, until about Saturday, I'm sorry, until about Saturday morning. But Friday night, I did start to get to some relief. My dad really saved my ass because Friday night, um, I'm just really thankful to have the support of my parents and my family, first of all. And my dad Friday night brought me into psychiatric urgent care at Pine Ross Mental Health Services, and they we were there for hours, and I felt so bad because I my dad is just a real trooper. I mean, he stayed with me through the whole thing, and we were there for hours. I mean, we got there at like 5 o'clock and we didn't get out of there till like probably 9 or 9:30 at night. Um, so I mean, they had us there just for hours. But I got the help I needed though. Um, I talked to a medical assistant, and then I talked to a social worker, and then I talked to a nurse practitioner. And the nurse practitioner took a lot of my information about previous medications I'd been on and talked to a doctor about it. And the nurse practitioner and the doctor made a decision, and what they decided to do was add a new antipsychotic to my medication lineup. So right now I am on a little bit more medication than what I would like to be, but it's only a temporary thing. This isn't going to go on forever. We're just talking a few weeks here. Um so what they did was they wanted to keep my Rexulti the same. My Rexulti is my normal antipsychotic that I take for my psychosis and my schizophrenic symptoms, and they wanted to keep that the same. So I still have my regular Rexulti, but in addition to that, they added something called Perphenazine. And I'm not familiar with Perphenazine. I've never had it before. I've never even heard of it up until that night. Um, but it seems to have helped because Friday night, when we were at the psychiatric urgent care with my dad, they wrote the prescription for the Perphenazine and they sent it into my pharmacy. But by that point, the pharmacies were all closed. So I had to wait till Saturday morning to get it. And Saturday morning, I was still in the midst of my episode. So I decided to start taking the Perphenazine. I walked up to the pharmacy and got it and started taking it right that morning. And finally, later that day, later Saturday, things started to, this past Saturday, things started to start dying down. The nurse practitioner told us the Perphenazine would start working within 2 to 3 doses or something like that. and it actually, I started noticing improvements after the first dose. So that tells you what a strong, powerful medication this is and how quickly it acts. Um, and I'll probably do another video about Perphenazine in the future because, I like to make medication reviews about all the different medications I've been on. So I'm gonna do some more research on it and do a video about it after I've been on it for a couple weeks, see how things are going. But that's what's going on right now. Taking the Perphenazine in addition to my normal Rexulti. Um, I take the Perphenazine twice a day. Take it once when I wake up, and I take it once at night before I go to bed. So it's about 9:15 at night. It's actually almost time to take my nighttime dose right now as we speak. But yeah, I just the situation at work totally exasperated things. Um, because working in a food bank, is I've learned from this experience, is not necessarily a walk in the park. And I give a lot of credit for the people all the volunteers across the country who do it, because it's kind of a volunteer job. There's not very many paid positions in food banks. It's primarily a volunteer effort. So I have a whole new level of respect for all these volunteers across the United States that run these food banks and make this assistance possible, because I did it for a couple of months, minus the 2 weeks I was in rehab for. I did it for a couple of months, and I've learned that a lot of the people coming into food banks aren't always good people. Um, I dealt with a lot of disrespect. I dealt with a lot of angry people, um, just disrespectful, selfish people, um, people being bougie about the food we have, people taking more than their fair share of food and then me getting in trouble for it. Um, it's a very difficult situation. And as I was working that day, I was almost kind of thinking, you know what? I should almost be in line for assistance myself. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm just as needy as most of the clients we're serving. And actually, I'd say some of the people that are there are probably actually better off than I am. I mean, to give you guys an idea, I'm very, very heavily dependent on the welfare system. I haven't worked an actual full-time job since 2015, when my schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, whatever you want to call it, when it first set in. Um, I lost my job in May of 2015, and I got diagnosed in August of 2015. I've been declared disabled by the federal government since August of 2015, and haven't really worked very, very little since that point in time. Just did some volunteer work for a little bit when I was living in Washington, and worked for 3 days, um, for a Burger King restaurant in September of 2021. That lasted 3 days, and now this, my volunteer job at the food bank, which wasn't actually a paid job, it was a volunteer position. Um, so I'm very needy myself. I live off a very small social security check. Um, I have a EBT food stamps card that I'm pretty heavily reliant on, and when that runs out, I'm just kind of screwed. And I live in a federally subsidized apartment, so I should almost be in line getting help myself. I mean, for me, if I was to get assistance from our food bank, that would really help me out a lot. I mean, that would really do me a lot of good. Um, so I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, fuck, I should almost be in line myself for this, and I'm helping people who are totally ungrateful and just being rude and disrespectful. It was just not, it was a difficult experience, you guys. It was a really difficult experience. Um, so I have a whole new level of respect for people who work the food banks across the country and volunteer. And the one I was working at is very busy because they allow people to get assistance once a week, which is actually kind of a lot for a food bank because most food banks I've been to that I've been dependent on throughout my life, which there's one local one that I sometimes have to get help from here, and there's one that I was using when I lived in the state of Washington. Most of them only let you get food, most of them only let you get assistance once or twice a month. And then you have mine that was letting you get assistance once a week. So that's a lot of clientele. That's a lot of traffic. That's very busy. So like the one I go to here when I need help, they let you get help once a month. And then when I lived in Washington, um, me and my significant other's mom and my significant other, we would get help from Kent Food and Emergency Services in Kent, Washington, and they would let you go. I think it was twice a month at Kent Food and Emergency Services. Um, so I mean, usually they're a lot more limited than this, but um, I just have some fears, you guys, about what I'm gonna do for employment in the future because it seems like every time I try to do something, I hallucinate and lose my job. And no, I'm not working at the food bank anymore. I did resign from my position. I figure if I'm going to be having episodes, it's not really a good idea to be coming into a job in that frame of mind. So I did decide to resign from my position. But I mean, if you think about it, like if you look at my track record, like my last full-time job I had in Washington State that I lost in 2015, started hallucinating at work and got fired. Um, if you look at when I tried to work back in September for my job at Burger King, that lasted 3 days. And on the third day, started hallucinating and lost that job. And if you look at this volunteer job, started hallucinating and lost that job. It's like, what am I going to be able to do in my future? Every time I do something, I start hallucinating and lose the job. So I mean, what am I going to be able to do? I don't know what type of work is right for me. Um, I don't just want to be on disability doing nothing. I want to do something with my life, but I just don't know what to do. Um, my dad has a really good idea. My dad thinks that I should try to get in with his company, which is a really good printing company. But honestly, I think I would just have the same problem. I think I would start hallucinating and lose that job too. I already worked for a printing company about 11, 12 years ago. It was a very bad experience. I ended up quitting um, after about 6 months. And it's just not really my thing. Like my dad is really good at it. My dad's been in the printing industry for many decades now, the majority of his life, and he loves it. And he's very good at what he does. He's very, very good at it. He's very talented. Um, but I just don't exactly have the same passion for it as my dad does. I'm not my dad. I'm a different person. I have entirely different interests and goals. And I don't know. I could try working for my dad's company, but I just have a bad feeling about it. I already have a bad feeling about it in all honesty. Um, I just it seems like literally anything I do, um, something goes wrong and I fuck up. Um, so I'm just I don't know. I hate to be so negative and I hate to bitch, but I just don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I'm thinking maybe about going back into janitorial. I've had some people suggest that I get like a part-time janitorial job, and I'm kind of thinking that might be the way to go because I am really good at like cleaning things and stuff like that. So, It's been a while since I've done janitorial work. I do have a history with janitorial work, but it's been a very long time. But I'm kind of thinking about maybe trying to revisit that career field. So, if you guys could just keep me in your thoughts and prayers, and just pray for me that someday I'll be able to find something I'm good at and something I'm able to do and manage my schizoaffective disorder at the same time without it getting too out of control or anything. So, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. This video is over 15 minutes long now. I really hate to make videos that are this long. I think it loses people's attention, but I had a lot to say here. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's having a good week. I am doing good for the most part. I'm glad to be out of my episode. I'm glad to have my mind back. So I hope everybody else is having a good week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out, guys.